You're right, Caleb. It's amazing moment in the history of the state of Israel. I don't think we saw ever such crisis, such big demonstrations and protests against the government. I think the prime minister yesterday made one step too far by firing the minister of defense, Yoav Gallant. It was, this dismissal is unacceptable to the most of the people of Israel. While Yoav Gallant is a loyal member of the Likud, and he, as a Minister of Defense, alert the government and the Prime Minister and then the public that the continuance of this legislation can risk Israel security. And for that, he was fired in a very let's say it's not typical to the Prime Minister Netanyahu to do something so such irresponsible way, to say the least. And I think the people of Israel understood it. They came out to the streets, and it seems like, at least by the reports now, that he's going to stop the legislation, at least for the holidays now. I hope he's going to do this. But it's a shame that he does it now. He could do it in much less damage to Israel and to himself and to his government.
Let me ask you about himself. Let me ask you, Shai, because the Simcha Rothman, the lawmaker who's been pushing this process right now, that's live images of him in the Constitution and Law Committee in the Knesset. Prime Minister Netanyahu risks even potentially breaking apart his coalition if he stops and freezes the process now, with especially those far-right parties of B'Tselem, Religious Zionism Party and Jewish Power Party.
You're right, and it's expected that the Minister of Justice, Yariv Levin, will resign if the legislation will be freezed. So this whole process it started in a very wrong way. It's continuing with a lot of mistakes. Lots of unneeded legislations have been offered by the member of the Likud and the other far-right parties who show the Israeli public what's going to happen if it's not going to be a kind of supervision of the Supreme Court on legislation like that. And then that scared the people of Israel and brought us to this moment now. Before the press conference of the Prime Minister or the announcement of freezing or not freezing the legislation, it's going to be a press conference of the head of the labor union